You're listening to 1723, a safe space made to prepare you and discuss all topics necessary to become a fully fledged adult and help you navigate the difficult leap from teen to adult. Today is another solo episode. I hope you're liking the new mic quality. It's very crisp. Today I decided to make a episode that was inspired by a conversation that I heard just walking around in school. So I was in school and I heard from this one girly pop that she has been going in this spiral recently of sort of just coming home, being tired, going to sleep, still being tired, watching TikTok, still being tired, doing nothing, and just having this sort of sad, depressy moment, I guess you could say, and just in general not being happy about life and not being content with herself. And even though to me, or maybe to you, or maybe to a plethora of people, that may seem like crazy, or maybe it seems exactly like your situation, but for me, who has been on this self-development journey for quite a while, the idea of just being sort of bored out of life and not having anything to do and not knowing what to do seems kind of crazy. We all know a girly, like, let's call her Christina. So imagine you're Christina, you know a Christina. She's always tired. TikTok doesn't make her happy. Or she doesn't find TikTok fun anymore. Or movies, or anything for that matter. School doesn't, spark joy. School doesn't make her fun. School doesn't bring joy. And going to school every single day just drains her completely. And then she comes back from school, then she's super tired, so she goes on TikTok and just scrolls and does nothing, and then it's a whole spiral, right? Now, most of us, we fall in between a sort of spectrum. So there's people who are completely like Christina on the left side, where they do absolutely nothing. They have no idea how to get from point A to point B. They're very lost in life, and they are just kind of drifting, which is something I'll talk about later. And then a complete other end spectrum where there's a person who's driven. They know what they're doing. They know how to get from if they're having a moment of challenge, I guess you could say, if they're having a challenging moment in life, they know how to get themselves out of it. They know how to treat themselves right. They know how to treat themselves with respect, and they know how to treat others with love and respect, and just be able to be happy, a consistent sort of content, right? Most of us, we fall in between that sort of spectrum where maybe we aren't completely doing nothing. We have some sort of, life or goal in school. So I know a lot of people who are very driven in school, who work where when they get back from school, when they get back from school every single day, they go and they study for 4 hours, and they're very driven because they have a goal of getting to some specific school. But in the end, they're still very lost in what they want to do with their life, and they're kind of still very lost in their sense of sort of contentness and happiness because they're just constantly doing school and they don't know what to do with that. Or you have some people who are going to work right after school, so they're driven by their financial insecurities, and they're driven, or maybe they don't have to be driven by their financial insecurities. Some people are very, very happy in their work, but some people, and myself included at one point, so I definitely know where it comes from, feel the sense or feel the need to go to work after school, and that's what drives them. But in a sense, they find some sort of fulfillment in that. But most of us, we fall in between a spectrum where we're sort of content at times and then very discontent. But there's always a sort of base level of feeling lost, feeling unstable, and not feeling held by the world. So I would like to share with you my 3 pillars of a happy life. So by no means would I like to claim that I know what a happy life looks like, okay? I don't know everything. I'm just a normal person. But I can tell you what works for me. And I can also share with you what I've seen works not just for me, but for other people, and what I've sort of, pinpointed out in just existing. What have I figured out by living on this lovely little planet? So, pillar number 1, move. So, action is the base of all things on our planet. Action drives things into motion. Doing stuff, moving around is the whole reason why we exist, right? Like nothing in this world would exist if atoms didn't move. So our first pillar in life is to move. Whatever that movement may be is up to you. But look at your schedule, right? And I highly recommend looking at your schedule as a sort of, backtrack and be able to see what you do with your life, to be able to also feel more content with your life and time and whatnot. But I'll try and, find a point in that. But pillar number 1 is move. So whether that be gym, running, swimming, volleyball, I don't know, but find something that is going to move your body for at least 30 minutes or an hour a day, 30 minutes is daily, and then for at least an hour, 3 times a week, you're going to move. You're going to do some sort of movement. And the fun part about moving is that everybody moves in some sort of way, or almost everybody moves. So when you decide to go and move, not only there's many benefits to moving. Obviously, we're meant to move, and it seems like such a baseline thing, but I realize more and more often, and it's a sort of mindfuck type of situation, that a lot of people don't think like me, and it's very interesting sometimes to look at your own self and own thought process and then realize that your own thought process isn't the only one that exists. But anyways, to get back into it, first pillar is to move. If you are going from a baseline of just existing, floating, going to school, going home, sleep, and all you do is make one slight change of making sure that you get 10K steps every single day, and go to the gym 3 times a week, already your life changed. Because by going, or let's say you sign up for a volleyball class or a volleyball, team, you will find community in these people that move. So if you start running, even if you don't find community in the sense that you're doing like a team sport or something, you will find community in other people that are doing the same thing. Or you will start to get interested. So let's say that everything bores you. Everything is, not fun. You're feeling very tired. And if you start going to the gym 3 times a week, that's your new interest. Like all it takes is 3 hours a week of doing something that's sort of, has a wide variety, a wide topic, and you will find interest in that. So instead of being bored all the time, going to the gym 3 times a week after school, or I don't know if you go over the weekend, you will spend the rest of your time, for now, looking at how you're going to show up those 3 hours a week? How are you going to perform in the gym? You're going to look up how to do your squats better, how to eat better, you're going to nutrition, or how to throw a volleyball better, or the best team players, or what are goals that you could do. See, already this one thing could change your life. So, but you might be wanting to do other things. So either way, keep it as a very baseline pillar in your life that you need to move. So not only can it change your life, it's also something that we all have to do and we cannot forget about. So as people, our obligations are to stay, I guess, or not really obligations, but in obligations, I mean, in society, we got to stay healthy so that we can contribute, and we got to stay sort of presentable, which is another pillar that I'm going to make, but we got to stay healthy and moving every single day. Obviously, if you're going home after school or work or something and doing nothing, you're not going to feel great. It makes so much sense because we're supposed to move, you know? We've got bodies that have been primed to run and hunt and get food and stuff. So if you're not moving your body's going to react in a way that's going to try and get you to move somehow, by making you feel bad. So eventually, if you felt bad for a really long time when not moving, you would either die or you'd start moving. So right now your body's telling you, hey, we gotta do something. But if you've already started moving, you go to the gym 3 times a week, or let's say, I don't know, you run every single morning, but you still feel kind of bad. Let's look at pillar number 2. Pillar number 2 is image or beauty. So in life, we all want to sort of be in society in a way, or I guess, okay, maybe we don't, but what I would recommend is show up as the person who you'd like other people to see you as, or who you are, I guess. It's very hard concept to sort of grasp, but recently I've been getting into doing fit checks every single morning, and I made it a sort of, baseline, like a bare minimum thing for me to wake up and have at least an hour a week. I mean, not a week, hour every single day where I prepare myself. I get myself ready. I put on my cute little outfit. I do my makeup. I get myself ready. I do my skincare, everything. At least minimally an hour a day, right? And I've been putting those fit checks on Instagram, and I've also just been posting it on school newspaper that I run, another little project that I do. But and I've been just showing up as me, but I've been showing up always. I don't know how I'd sort of wrap it around, but ready, like I'm ready for the world. Like anything could come up to me and I'm ready. So taking at least an hour every single morning to get yourself ready, to become the person that you want to present to the world, will make you feel so much better. If you walk to school or you walk into school with sweatpants, your hair in a messy bun, and you feel really sluggish and disgusting, you're not gonna feel good. Again, it may seem like a very, very basic thing to a lot of people, me included, but a lot of people don't know this, or sometimes people just don't notice their own, blindness. So move and then present an image. So already you've got at least, let's say, 4 hours a week you're moving, and which is very little. Okay, you should be doing like 30 minutes of like movement in a sense that you're walking at least, and then an hour of intense movement. So let's say, I don't know, I'm going to round it out to like 10 hours. I really don't feel like doing math. So 10 hours you're moving, every single day, an hour, you're getting ready and preparing yourself. So already you've got like a chunk of your time taken, which makes the rest of your time more valuable. And the thing is, I feel like people these days don't really value their time. Before, when I was younger, when I had, all the time in the day, I would get so bored. I would be like, ugh, I don't know what I want to do right now. Why is life so boring? Da-da-da-da-da. Like, I'd have just so many negative ideas, comments, because I didn't value my time. Now, if I have an hour of my day to do nothing, I'm like, oh my God, lucky me. Like, bless the day. I have an hour right now to read a book or hang out with my friends or, whatever. Like, I value it so much more than I used to, which makes me so much more happier. Because when I do have things planned, I have things planned that I want to have planned, that I want to be doing, and I enjoy them. And when the schedule changes or I get free time, I'm even more happy because I have free time to do something else, Like, learning to value your time will make you so much more content of a human being. But anyways, let me backtrack. I get on tangents. Very sorry. So move and then spend an hour at least a day, or that can be something completely different. Maybe you spend way too much time on your image. Maybe you spend 3 hours doing your makeup every morning and it's making you miserable. And you have to figure out how to love yourself without that makeup or something. You get what I mean? Like, but take time to view yourself as a brand and as an image and who you want to represent. And at least for a certain amount of time, make sure that you're ready to present yourself to the world every single day. And you will feel so much better and so much more ready to handle all the plethora of tasks that you may have in each day. So we have move, we have look good or present yourself, and then the third and the most important part is create. So in reality, I guess this is like the main point or the most important part that will make you happy in life, because you can, go to the gym 3 times a week. You can be beautiful every single day. But if you don't have this third pillar, which is to create, you will still feel unfulfilled. Something will always be missing. So you might think like, Kimmy, yeah, okay, but I don't know what to create. Like, tell me what to do. Now, see, nobody is going to be able to tell you what to do. And this is a very hard sort of thing for a lot of people to, understand. But you can start by looking at yourself again as a brand, as an image, and imagining what that person does. And if you don't know what you like doing, then imagine what would your ideal day be like, or your ideal, social position. And if you still don't know, read books. Literally, like, read books. Pick up a goddamn book. I cannot stress enough how much books have brought me joy in life. Like, or purpose, or meaning, or knowledge. Just pick up a book, read some books, then go on TikTok if you want, and look at what the people on TikTok are doing. Do you want to be a creator of TikTok videos? Do you want to, have a business or something of that sort? Learn how to manage people. And the funny thing is a couple, I think, weeks ago, I had a conversation with my very dear friend Vanda about starting a business and whatnot, and thinking about going through education and learning these things and still not knowing how to start a business. It's because the more you learn, the more you realize that you don't know a lot of things. But still, if you self-reflect, and this is the last pillar that I will be talking about, which is self-reflection, but if you self-reflect, you realize that you've come a very far way. And even in the slightest things. But back to pillar 3, which is, having some sort of day-to-day tasks and to create something in life. Because you ideally want to be able to leave something behind once you die. Which is it sounds morbid, okay? And I don't want to scare anybody. But you will die, probably. I don't know, maybe in the next 50 years they'll invent new technology and you won't die. But I find sort of beauty in death because it keeps me moving, it keeps me going. Anyways, you will probably die. So it's a nice idea to create something and have that live on with your essence after you die. And it can be the smallest goddamn contribution, but it could potentially butterfly effect into something much larger. So let's say you don't know what to create. If you read books, maybe you decide that you want to make a book. And it doesn't matter if nobody reads that book in your lifetime. You know how many writers wrote books that in their lifetime literally maybe 3 people read, and then 30 years after they died, their books became, these glorified literary masterpieces, like Moby Dick, for example. Haha, funny name, but still, that book, it went 30 years without being noticed. People thought I think it was Hemingway. Okay, I'm honestly not sure. That is a very bad thing to say on the podcast, mentioning something that I don't even know, but whatever. The guy who wrote Moby Dick, he went 30 years after his death. Some person picked up his book and was like, oh shit, this is an amazing book. And then now it's a literary classic. But during his lifetime, and in his what's it called, autobiography, he talks about the fact that nobody reads my book, or nobody read his book, but he knew it was a masterpiece. In that moment, he knew that he created something, and that after he dies, that's his creation, and that made him content. That made him happy because he created something. And you should find something like that you put your time, your energy, your vigor, your talents into. And even if nobody notices, you know that you're creating something that even after you die, even if it was just for your own self, you know that you created something that to you is a masterpiece. And it doesn't have to be a physical thing, okay? Even if it's something that you, like a community that you built, or if you are, a concert person, I don't know what that title is, but if you consistently every single day you go out and you have a concert and you play to so many people and you affect them, you created a legacy. You influenced people in a positive way to make their lives better. And I had this sort of revelation today as well. I was walking to school today and I went by a coffee shop called The Cup, and they've been having like this really cute little sign that said that they had like coconut matcha lattes, and that just sounded just so fun, so fresh. And I was like, I have to go try that. And I went there, I bought the little coconut matcha. It was delicious, by the way. I highly recommend you check it out. It's Beneath Florence, and it's called The Cup. But anyways, I took a sip of it, and at that moment I was just so happy that somebody, and that I didn't have to do this, somebody decided to create that coffee shop. Somebody said, you know what, let me leave something behind in this world, or let me positively influence the world right now by making a coffee shop, and maybe I'll make I don't know, even if it was 10 people happy, then let me just do that. Let me put all of my energy into that. And they're probably really happy and really feel fulfilled that their coffee shop is still standing there and they get customers and they are just content in that sense, you know? So I had this sort of revelation, and it was awesome because then I started like looking at all the stuff that I had. I was like, oh my God, look at my shoes. I'm so grateful. Somebody decided to design these shoes. Somebody decided to make these shoes. Then I was listening to music. I was like, I was listening to Gajo Trendy, by the way. Everybody, I'm going to plug Gajo Trendy. I do not normally listen to Czech rap, okay? I am a person who listens to classical music, jazz, pop, some rap. I do not listen to Czech rap, but Gajo Trendy is one Czech rapper that I will always support because he's an amazing person, and I highly hope you check out his music. But anyways, I was listening to Gajo Trendy, and I was like, I am so happy that Gajo just decided, yeah, I'm going to follow my passion in life. I'm going to follow my purpose, and I'm going to make music. And it just, it brought me into this very happy, Alanic sort of energy. And I think a lot of people would sort of benefit from, feeling that sort of same way. So this is why I'm making this podcast episode. I don't know. I'm backtracking on this. But anyways, so firstly, let me, dial it back. Move. Look a certain way, because we all are perceived. So we have to put out the way we want to be perceived in order to feel comfortable in our own bodies and feel comfortable in the ways that we're perceived and so forth. And then create something. By creating, you're loving, because only the love of people. If you hated everybody, you wouldn't create anything. Because you'd be like, why? Unless you created it for yourself, but that's, I don't know, it's a whole cycle. But by creating, you're loving people, and people will love you back for it. And that will bring you joy out of life. So create. Read if you don't know what to create. Listen if you don't know what to create. Just sponge. First, you gotta sponge in order to be able to create, okay? So do that. The last pillar, and this is arguably the most important. Then again, both the last two are very important, but this last one is even more important. It's self-reflection. So you could create and still be discontent with yourself because you're not self-reflecting. Self-reflection is the act of looking back into your past and seeing what have you done and what have you learned from it. Self-reflection is not just about, becoming a better person and being able to decide, oh, I did this really shittily, whatever, right? It's also about realizing how far you've come. And even if the self-reflection is like, oh, I managed to, take 5,000 more steps today, even small changes, or I managed to self-reflect today. I managed to look at what did I do this week, and think about that. Self-reflection helps you see what you've done and helps you plan for the future, because both self-reflection and planning are both very important. But self-reflection helps you realize, like, hey, actually, I've checked off all of my goals for this month. I have done this, and this. I have learned how to deal with these situations. I have, dealt with this, and I was feeling really sad this day or something, but I learned how to get around that. And it also helps you see, like, okay, maybe if you weren't doing anything, self-reflect. Okay, I've been doing jack shit. Maybe I should start working on something and stop pitying myself. Why do I consistently, feel sad? Because I'm not doing anything. And don't view it as a negative way. Just think, okay, I learned this. Now, what can I do to change that? And self-reflection is one of the main pillars of feeling content with yourself in life, because you will start to think like, hey, either, okay, maybe I can change this and become a better human going in the future, or, I guess I'm on track. I'm living and fulfilling my purpose. And each day, I'm working towards my goals. And you know how they say the journey is the goal, or the journey is the way, the path? I honestly don't know, but they say something about how the journey is the goal, I think, or the journey is something, that sometimes, or the journey is more important than the finish line. Because if you don't enjoy the journey, there's no point in finishing the goal, or getting to the finish line, because when you get there, you're going to spend your whole life working on something that's not making you happy. So self-reflect, look at what you're doing with your time, because everybody has time. I know when people say, I don't have time, that's the only thing that you do have. But a different way that people, I guess, should put it, or they don't have to, but I guess this is not the priority. So, for example, even when people say like, oh, but I have to go to school. No. I mean, technically you could literally just leave. You could pack your bags, go to the countryside and, build a cottage in the forest. Like, technically you could, but your priorities are finish school. If somebody said, hey, you can drop out of this, you can drop out of the school right now. For 90% of my listeners, okay, 17 to 23. If you're still in grade school, probably not. But if you're in high school, you can drop out of school and pursue something different, but your priorities probably right now are to finish that school because you want to finish that. Whatever reason you have for that, I don't know, but you want to finish that, whether that be to have that sort of title in society or to please your parents so that you don't get kicked out of your house because you want to live in your house for now and not have to deal with not being a student. You want to do that even though you technically don't want to do that. It's hard. It's sort of catch-20, but anyways, to backtrack, we all have time. So what we choose to do with that time, how we choose to prioritize our time, that is the sort of baseline. Okay, I'm getting in a tangent here. I got very, very off track there. I'm very sorry, but I want to sort of wrap this episode up so that you go away listening, or go away with something listening to this podcast. So for those struggling, or if you know Christina, as we called her, the advice I'd give, firstly, start moving. Action is the baseline of human existence, or of existence in and of itself. That's why I always like to say I'm a woman of action, because action is the baseline, right? So start moving. Move. Then create an image. Who do you want to be? If you don't know, look at Pinterest boards, look at people who you look up to, and spend at least an hour a day making your physical body. So that means, how you look exactly, if you do your makeup, if you comb your hair, if you dress a certain way, spend at least an hour a day preparing yourself for that. Or at least, 30 minutes. Come on, like, brush your teeth, dude. And then create. Find something that you want to give out to the world. That's why 90% of businesses, they're very focused and oriented on money, okay? And don't get me wrong, money is very important. But the businesses that prevail are the businesses that not only know their finances, but also, they have a person that's driven behind them. So create something. What do you want to leave behind in this world after you die? Or what do you want to contribute to the world right now? And if you don't know that, read books and again, look at other people, or just literally Google a list of hobbies and start checking each one off. I guarantee you, if you Google a list of 100 hobbies and you start like constructively or, just checking off each of those hobbies after you do them, you will find a hobby that you like, and then you will find a thing that you want to do and leave behind in life. And lastly, self-reflect. Look each Sunday, make that a holy day. There's a reason why Jesus did that or something. I don't know. So take that day, or at least the end of that day, to self-reflect and be like, so what have I learned? What were the accomplishments that I made? And what can I learn for the next week? And each month you should do a sort of self-reflection as well, and goal setting, which I highly recommend, because it'll make you feel so like driven and on your point, because you're like, okay, each month, and when you self-reflect, you can see if you checked off all your goals and what have you learned, and what went right and what went wrong, and what did you learn from that. And it'll just make you feel very happy. And each week when you're doing the self-reflection, you'll be like, I managed to do this and this, and I'm this far. And if I didn't, what did I learn from that? Why didn't that work? Am I more tired? Do I need more time off? And da-da-da-da. And you'll feel very on your path, on your goal, and just very happy in that sense. So, So don't forget to self-reflect. Find something that moves you. Find something that keeps you, find something that moves you. Take at least an hour a day to prepare your physical body so that you feel comfortable in your physical body to fight the world, work with the world. So prepare yourself for the world or society. Then find something to create, and then reflect each week, each month, each day if you want. Reflect on what you're doing. All right. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast episode. I know it's a bit sporadic. I hope you like the new mic quality, and I will be making more episodes into the future. And hopefully I'll be able to get this out by tonight. And on Monday, I should be filming another podcast with a very cool special guest, where I will be starting a new season of episodes called Yake Yeto Beat, which translates to What's It Like Being? And apologies, that episode or that season will be only in Czech, and I'll be interviewing various people who work in various different sectors. So people who are writers, people who are models, people who are psychologists, people who are doctors, Like I have a whole list of people, and I'm going to interview them, and they're going to give us some insight on what's it like being each of those professions. So if you don't know what to do with your life, or you're mostly probably not don't know what to do, but if you're choosing between maybe, then that will be there for you as a sort of insight on what's it like being that specific profession. All right. Thank you so much for listening, and have a lovely rest of your day. Bye.